Hello guys, let's try again, shall we? Change some settings. Let's see how this goes. We are back with another test stream and see how it goes. I've changed some settings.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, Charlotech. How is the quality now? Change some settings on the stream settings. It seems to be better, or it's just an idea. Still laggy or not? I have it on 6,000 kilobytes a second, but I can put it on 10,000 like I do on Twitch. But I did change the encoder settings, so it should be better now. Hello, gangster. Yes, for sure. I would like to see touring. In general, I would like to see anything else than street and hypercar, which is, of course, also something we have mentioned several times to the devs. Hopefully, they use it in any future updates. That they bring some new tracks for other stuff than street or hypercar. Also for new players. If you go to this PvP, it's only street and hypercar. How can these people upgrade their vehicles except for street? What are we doing? Not paying attention. Whatever. I'm on my second driver. I don't have Egoista. I don't have yeah, I do have the Chiron, I think, but
3, 2, 1.
checkpoint is my main problem with this game, and I will show you why. This is a perfect track for it. You see the rest is still messing about in the city. They need to put more checkpoints in these on these tracks. Oh, not have fast times on the hypercar. I play on keyboard with automatic gears. These things are a little bit too fast at times. But yeah, like now it's just about places. We're driving here a PvP race. Just want to be in the top 3, so basically. Also here, a checkpoint. Just tap it and you can go left. Faster than going around in the city. Track knowledge, that's basically the only thing you need. Driving the Porsche 918 here, it's definitely not the fastest hypercar, but yeah. As you can see, they're not really close behind. Also has to do with the fact that it's Sunday afternoon, obviously. A lot of kids playing, I'm assuming. It's like on this track, the this is like a lousy time, 3:18. If you have like a proper, like in the evening, you have the, let's say the regulars in PvP. They go under 3 minutes here on this track. Especially if they are in a team and get some slipstream here or there. But yeah, the problem is the variety. And that also means that the proper competitive player, they are not playing PvP. They want more variety. And yeah, it doesn't really work here. In this lobby you don't have collisions, which is probably the best thing with people around that ram you all over the place. On the other lobby you have collisions on. There you have variety of disciplines, but people don't play it because there's collisions on. I think we sort of have to find some middle way between the crew 1 and the crew 2. In crew 1 we had all tracks available, we could choose whatever we want, but there you had of course the problem that people selected the same track over and over and over again with the same cars. So they need to come up with some sort of system that we have everything available, all the disciplines, but that you cannot like select the same track every 5 tracks or something like that. What are we doing? Let's try this thing here, beta handling edition. Yeah, I did a couple of test streams earlier, but I had my OBS settings, encoder settings on simple instead of advanced, and that was a problem. It was streaming at 2500 kilobytes a second. Now I put it on 6000, but I can probably put it higher. Bit wobbling, but in general the beta handling is better though. I don't know how far they are with that though. Because they brought these cars and then you could give feedback on the handling of it. And then based on that feedback they would make some adjustments on this car. This M2 and then the Jaguar and the Mercedes, I think they put in three of them. And if the handling is better, then I'm assuming that the idea in the end is to change all the cars to that beta handling that we have here. Seems like I have the rear a bit stiff though. Yeah, the BMW M2 as well. I don't have the F-Type or the what's the other one? C63 Mercedes, I think. I don't have them. I didn't buy them yet. I bought the M2 here on my second driver here. But also that one is way better than the normal M2. Normal M2 slides all over the place, a lot of wheel spin. Yeah, that's the other thing with the yeah, it's the peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is a problem. Like now it's fine, we have a lobby of 6 here or whatever. As long as nobody joins us, we're good to go. But if some guy joins, he can break the whole session and we're back at the entry tent. Depends a bit on who's the host. That's the problem with the peer-to-peer. Can play if you have like some European guys or some USA guys connected to each other. You can play for hours. But if you have like a European guy and an Asian guy in the USA and probably Brutale, I guess. Still seems to be a bit laggy, or is it just an idea? Might do a test later with 9,000 or 10,000 kilobytes a second. What is this here? Oh, this trash track. Not a fan of the city tracks. Too much crap that you can hit. But it's this playlist at least till 2 AM tonight. Now we get the A to B races again. Now we come to the shortcut jump here. This bike does not like that. For some reason it always goes crazy. Has to go off throttle there. No, no, no. Almost fell off the roof. Don't hit a checkpoint with a bike. That's true. There are indeed many unused, but it's already improved. In the beginning, we only had the city tracks here, and then we complained quite a bit in TPC. The pit crew, which I am a member, and then they came up from January till April with all those A to B races, which are all over the place, outside of the city. But they could easily make like some touring cars. We have circuit tracks and that's all fine, but you can easily take the touring cars out of these circuits and just put them on the main road, like we had the circuit specs in the Crew 1. We also knew new tracks because in a way they got a bit lazy. In the Crew 1 we had the PvP were all different tracks than the story races. And here we have sort of campaign races, and they just put those races in PvP, so they are not any new or anything. What are we doing? Again, not paying attention. Let's try the Performante. But we'll see what they bring. They are working on something, that's for sure. But it probably will take a while before it's there, and I think it's something big. I'm kinda hoping that they bring whatever it is that we're asked for over the last couple of months, that they bring everything that they got from their feedback. Hood cam on the Lamborghini is also something funny. Barely has a hood. And what it also doesn't have, no matter what you do with the brake balance, it does not brake. It's one of those cars you have to drive manually, I think. So you can downshift instead of braking. Yo. That was not the idea. stabilize this thing. Need to stiffen up the rear a little bit, I think. Anti-roll bars or so. Let's see. We can hit the rock. Nope, didn't work. You can jump over that rock and then you can jump over the barrier on the other side as well. But it has a little bit of a risk factor though. Yeah, me too. I guess we have to mess about a bit in the summit to keep us busy in the upcoming months. But they sort of hinted that they're working on something pretty big. But we'll see. Well, I also think it's gonna take a while though. Moving on. About 80 points I think I have now on Platinum 1. If the bar fills up, it's over. Then you don't get any points anymore. Oldies but goodies. Okay. That is if we can get out of here. I thought we were hanging. Audi RS5, still one of the best cars I think in with green parts at least. It can go over 400 kilometers an hour, so it can keep up with the Hurricane. But yeah, if you really properly want to play PvP, you probably have to retune all your cars. Like the gearbox needs to be on 10 so you can get top speeds, some of these tracks. While we normally have it on 8 or 9 on the gearbox to get acceleration for summit stuff and such. Yay, I'm doomed. I cannot avoid it. They get my slipstream here. And then they usually fly out of that corner. The only problem this car has is that's 8 gears, and that's very often put you in the wrong gear after a corner or so. The R8 is also not bad, but the RS5 is a little bit better. I usually take it when like you have long straights on certain tracks, like you have here. Because my Hurricane is tuned for some summit stuff. I think I have the gearbox on 8 or 9, it can only do like 385 or something, and then it limits out. And this thing can do 412 or something. And I don't feel like retuning all these cars for PvP, because we need them in the summit, you know. But it seems to be fine on Sunday afternoon though. If you play in the evening, it's a mess. Get 4 people lobbies and then they see oh, platinum driver up, and they all leave. The only people that stay are, for instance, the Giron crowd or so. Oh, Bronx, really, again. Yeah, there are quite some good cars. Another one is the Spyker, the Dutch car, Spyker C8 Aeron, very good. I don't have anything tuned here for this. Let's try this thing here. There are quite some good cars, but yeah, you have like these people, you know. They always take the Lamborghini Hurricane. Oh my god, it's raining. That's gonna be a mess. What are you doing, people? Seriously. This thing is reported like 15 times, I think. Can easily be solved by just putting an extra checkpoint there. They should give us a test build where we can like test the tracks and tell them, okay, there is a problem. There needs to be an extra checkpoint and stuff like that. Another one of those tracks is Pikes Peak. It's a disaster, checkpoint wise. Whoa, yow yow. Lamborghini Veneno. Lighting, more or less leading a life of its own. Doesn't like the rain, this thing, that's for sure. Press reset instead of boost. That's a way to lose a track. How can we reach the old car tunes? What do you mean? There is no all car tunes. You have to you have some global settings like traction control, ABS, electronic stability protection, drift assist. Those 4 things. That's for for a discipline. So you change those sliders once, for instance, for street race, then they will go for all your street races. And then the specific settings are for you have to tune for each car. The pro settings by pressing if you go into the performance, you press F9. It's raining. Was it still raining? Probably. This car also pretty decent. Specker C8. Oh yeah, that's a bit of a problem, gangster. Usually the good drivers, they don't share their tunes. Hello. What's happening? Somebody left the lobby, somebody joined the lobby. Either way, the race doesn't seem to want to start. If I do some videos, I usually show my settings. That's per keyboard. Whether they're good or not, that's up to you. You can always adjust them a little bit. Another one who usually shares his settings is a core. You can find him in the... he plays on controller, I think, or gamepad. You can find him in the recommended channels on the right there, on my channel. Paraglider also, but I don't know if he if he actually shows the settings on the. I usually has like in the description of these videos. I think he has a link to an ImGear picture where you can sort of see his general settings. And it seems like we're stuck in this thing here. Yeah, we have on the Discord, we have yeah, something called the setup server by Speed Booster, and most of the top drivers are in there. But they're not really sharing their tunes. Some of them are. There are some tunes out there, but okay. And I'm gonna Alt F4 here because we're stuck in this thing. But in general, now that we are here anyway, before I reboot the game, I have some available, but like for instance, let's see. The Audi RS5. Suspension pretty soft here, but in general what I do with these cars is the camber over here go to 0. The anti-roll bars usually as stiff as possible, 9 or 10 or so, 8 or 10, and then if it's not good, if it's too stiff, it understeers too much or so, you bring it down a bit. The aero distribution as far as to the rear as you can get it. The gearbox, yeah, just a bit of how much speed you can get here in the top speed. The brake balance, same system. Look on the brake distance, what's the lowest number that you can get here? That's where you put the slider. And then the suspension, yeah. For off-road and so you're gonna put it more stiff. You can also put it here, some people have it here like 7979 or so. But for steering wise, like for keyboard, yeah, start with stancing the car. Camber at 0. That's what you definitely need to do. If we take another one, let's see. Do we have the Hurricane here? Same story. I stance it, camber at 0. Anti-roll bar sort of in the middle, I have it here, but that doesn't always work. The aero distribution way back over here. Other than that, it's sort of similar as the Audi RS5. But we had some, what did we drive? Let's see, the Corvette. Yeah, sort of similar settings. Although I have changed the suspension a bit here, I see, in the Corvette. The aero is sort of similar as the as on the Lambo. But as you can see, my gearbox is always like 8 or 9. So if you take it to PvP where you drive with green parts and where the top speed matters, you probably have to retune it to 10. If you really, if you play a lot of PvP, you want to have the top speed of all the cars. So then just put it on 10, I'm assuming. But that works all fine. But if you have the non-city tracks, the A to B tracks outside of the city, you definitely need some top speed on some of them. On the city tracks, you can go along with this because it's more about acceleration. So 8 or 9 will do. But let's see. For instance, the old Corvettes, I think, where I have the yeah, there I have 8, 10 on the anti-roll bars, 8 on the front and 10 on the rear. That's sort of the standard that I start with, and then if it understeers too much, I bring it down a little bit. Suspension in general I have pretty soft. I know some people put like those 2 middle ones all the way to 10. I do think I have some cars there as well, but Expo maybe? No, also that one I have pretty soft. What have we driven where it was like, yeah, the Evo is those Evos that are a big problem. That is for sure. We'll have a look in the game again and see what we have there. This one. Reboot the game because we were stuck in the stupid screen. But if we need like a specific car or so, and I do a time attack or whatever in the summit, then I usually at the end of the video or so I show the settings of the car that I used as a keyboard player with automatic gears, because that all matters, eh? You play on keyboard, you play on controller, on gamepad, on wheel, all kind of different settings. You play with automatic gears or manual, just manual gears or manual and manual clutch. That's sort of what all matters. Here we go. Meanwhile, what time is it? 6:30? Yeah, should still be fine, I think. To find another lobby. Yeah, that's the thing. Eh? If you have like you have several people like myself and a core and Paraglider and a bunch of others, Miku and who else? They are doing videos of the summit. So the new trend, which you had less, yeah, in the Crew 1 it didn't matter that much, because there you just have like some steering settings and that was it. We didn't have really in-depth car tuning. That changed of course in the Crew 2. So you have more people sharing their tunes now. Let's see, what's the other lobby? No, yeah, the other lobby is not something we want. Like here, that's a problem here. Choices. If you're a new player and you want to upgrade your touring car or Alpha GP or whatever, you're totally doomed today, because it only has the street racing lobby, and the other one is Demolition Derby, which, yeah, it's fun for casuals and kids probably, but all the rest doesn't want to play that, and that's the only options that we have here. I don't mind the Demolition being here, but it should be like a third playlist. The first batch of community playlists, they're pretty okay. That's a mix of all disciplines, and they have reset it now that the collisions are up in those, but that's only 4 playlists. The second batch of those community playlists, they still have the collisions on, which are 5 lists, I think. Not Zawak. I'm gonna have a look on the video afterwards. I might do another test stream later this week or so, and put the kilobytes a bit higher. All these but goodies again. Okay. Let's try this thing. That guy is hanging. He's not gonna make it. You see names show up in the lobby, but you don't see their car. Then they're not in. Unless he just made it last second. You also should use these different categories. You have these hot hatches and these muscle cars, but normally they are not a match for something like a Hurricane or an Audi RS5. So they should split those things, different categories, give people more options to drive more cars. Here we go again. 385 limiter. Bye guys. Flying checkpoints. And of course the Audi has 4-wheel drive, he goes better through the fields. But in general these things here, they're just too slow. They're too slow to keep up with the better cars. Now it's a matter of who has the best connection. If you finish at the same time. Quite some delay though. Let's see. I'm getting my point here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds delay. Which is weird, I don't have a delay set up. What's up, Clement? How many names do you have, man? You still play the game and you're always complaining. There is no news to you, doesn't mean there is no news. They promised us 3 updates, which they gave us, and now they're working on something, which is gonna be something what I am expecting to be somewhere next year, some DLC or so.
3, 2,
And the summit indeed has no new tracks, I've noticed as well, but yeah, they brought these the new cars now, the new specs. We played the Crew 1, of course. They are not new, but for other people they are new. The Ferrari, the McLaren drift spec, Camaro drag spec, one of the next summits. And in the game files there are some lists to be found with many cars on them. So yeah, complaining that the game is dead, that is something that I love with. Knowing that there are a bunch of cars to come. ...420 kilometers an hour in slipstream. The Audi RS5. Didn't get it, did I? Okay. Connectivity issue, but it's not that bad. Some guy lost connection. If he is the host, the whole lobby is dead. That's the problem with peer-to-peer. Not so fast, guys. Not so fast. You're not home yet. Hello. Nice to see you again. Freaking slipstreamed here. Yeah, but yeah, he's complaining for 2 years, Mr. Clement over there. But he still keeps playing though. Yeah, the numbers dropped a bit. Most people are still playing the, especially the premium summits where you can win a car. But even in the other summits, it's still on PC. It's 20,000 players. On PlayStation 4, it's still a bunch of players. Like those first summit batches was like 35,000 players on PC, about 100,000 on PlayStation 4, and about 20,000 on Xbox One. And then people say the game is dead. I just laugh with that. The Crew 3. Well, I don't know. I think they have to move. Although the fact is the Crew is it's about American motorsport, so it's kind of normal that it takes place in the USA. But they have 2 games in a row now taking place in the USA. I don't think they can get away with that again. So I'm assuming they're gonna go either Europe or maybe Japan. There is so many people asking for Japan, and not many games go there, if any. Also, the new Need for Speed goes to Palm City, which is some sort of virtual Miami, so also they go to the USA. I don't care so much where they go. What I do care for is that they bring dedicated servers. Because after 2 titles I'm sort of sick of this peer-to-peer. Dedicated servers, more people in there. At least 12 people or so in a lobby. But yeah, the Crew 3 will not be for tomorrow. (2022, 2023, maybe. They still have lots of plans with the Crew 2 first. I think the Crew 2 is going to be similar like the Crew 1, so the 4 or 5 years lifetime. It's only 1 year of the Crew 2, so you can expect at least 1 or 2 DLCs coming out first before they ever think about the Crew 3. Yeah, but that's the thing. You can go to Japan and bring some sort of GDM pack or something. People are asking for GDM cars for a long time. There's a good possibility that they even bring it in this game. You never know. But yeah, then asking for cars, I also find something you will never see me do that. Asking for specific cars, because that has to do with licensing. That is very often it's not even depending on the game companies. It's just depending on the companies itself. Like all those people that are crying for Toyotas in Supra. We want the Supra, and we want this, and we want that. Yeah, that's all fine. But if Toyota themselves say like we pull the license for all road cars, yeah, then you have nothing to say. Then there is nothing to negotiate. What was it? The sleeper? Yeah, that's the thing. Car licensing is a bitch. It's not like the gaming companies, whether it's Ivory Tower or Playgrounds or whoever. They want to bring all these cars in, but the companies, the brands need to go along with it.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, exactly. That's well, I'm not so sure about that though. We will see. That car is mentioned several times in the game files, so there might be a possibility that they still have that license from that car, specific one. And if somehow they can renew it, then they might bring it. Who knows, as a summit car or so. I think they're gonna mix it up a bit. Some new cars, some special editions. Like when is it, next week or the week after? We have that French thing, the French Summit, where they will bring a special edition of the Devo. After that, it probably will be a new car again, and then a special edition again, and so on. Another car that I need to buy is the Alfa Romeo 4C. Not that bad. But yeah, that's another reason why I'm doing PvP. Always short on money with this recalibration. That is something that I want to see go. Or they can keep it, but at least give an alternative with a tuner shop. Lose so many much with this recalibration and you usually don't get what you want. I would rather go to a tuner shop and just buy like this specific set, and I don't care if it costs me 500,000. At least you know what you're buying then. Yeah, indeed. I sort of had it with the Evos as well. And meanwhile I got slipstreamed again. But yeah, I guess we also have to take in consideration the whole community. That is something. We had Gator Rush, we had Demolition Derby, which was more for casuals, for kids. Then they brought the Summit, which was more for the competitive players. I think it is high priority now that they give something to the cruisers. Cruisers know this map inside out. Maybe some little expansion to I don't know, to Hawaii or whatever. Also still part of the crew of the USA in a way. What track was it? No, I didn't pay attention. It's also something, even I, although I'm not really a cruiser, but something to do on the side is also what I'm missing in this game. Like we had in the Crew 1, we had all those 15,000 points of awards things that you could do. Find the stealth and jump over a moving train and that kind of stuff. All those award things. Do so many miles in a USA car, do so many miles in a European car. It's just something to do on the side, you know. When you for once don't want to do the Summit. Oh, what is that? This is also typical trash track. I also picked the wrong car, I think. Does this? has a low front bumper, I think. We'll see. Got away with it. That corner there is a tricky one. Some of the cars get stuck there. Bit of understeer this one. Probably need like a Lotus Exige or something, or Evora, whatever it is. This corner here, if you take this one with something like the TBR Griffith, you get stuck there. Some sort of hitbox thing there. Yeah, license plate. Why don't we have a customizable license plate? They brought customization to the Crew 2 compared to the Crew 1. With the liveries and all, why can't we not change the... I thought Fergus said that in the beginning, somewhere in an interview. Maybe one day, he says. But those are all kind of things that we talked about and gave feedback over the... let's say in the first year of the Crew 1, the Crew 2 I mean. So somehow they typed it all in their laptop. And somehow I'm hoping that whatever is in that laptop is gonna come out in the whatever it is that they are working on. But we will wait and see. Also, we do not have any info yet. At this moment in time, they're on holidays with their families and low activity in August. That's every year the same. So they come back like full force in September probably. End of August, beginning of September. And then they move on with whatever it is that they were working already on in July. But I also have a feeling they not really want to go into battle with the new Need for Speed. So I think they're just gonna quietly work on whatever it is that they're working on, and just let Need for Speed just get his game out, and then let people play it for a couple of weeks or months. So I expect whatever they bring somewhere next year. And meanwhile we get some new summits, I'm assuming. The current batch has, if you look in the web, the Crew Hub web game files, just like the first batch, you can find 13 summits. So those 13 summits, they're gonna go somewhere till the end of October, I think. Cayman was position is pretty okay, but as soon as the road gets a little bit wet, not so good anymore. But in dry weather, it's definitely something to drive. You can battle it out with it. Holding back on some cars until the next big thing? Yeah, probably. That's always the case. Usually these games are developed like the Crew 1 was sort of the same. After 1 year we had Wild Run, but Wild Run was more or less developed in the beginning of the game, but they just hold it back to bring some DLC. I don't think that's the case this time though. Whatever it is that they're planning, they're still working on that. But it's the same with cars. They have a deal with all these brands on certain cars, and then at one point or another, they will bring them. But yeah, there were some people are doing some digging in the game files or on the hub website. You can also go into the developer mode thing. You can find a lot of information there. Especially in the game files, there is like a car list with I think there are like 30 cars on there. If they're ever gonna bring it or not, that's you never know. But on that list, whatever was on there was, for instance, all those cars that they brought so far, like the Magma Edition and the Evo Black Knight, and so were on that list. So we're sort of assuming that they go by that list. And if they go by that list and they bring all those cars from that list, then we can expect many cars to come. But I'm assuming they're holding back a couple for whatever it is that they're working on, obviously. What also would help with dedicated server is that these lights would actually work. But yeah, that has to do with the... that's why they changed the lighting or the brightness of the game. To at least see you where you're going. But there the problem is consoles. The rendering on such a huge map of these lights. I'm pretty sure they could, if they would properly fix these headlights. I'm pretty sure they can do it. That would not be a problem for PCs, especially if you have a decent system. But it more than likely would be a problem for the consoles. But yeah, next year with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, then they can probably do it, but I don't think they're gonna put the effort anymore than towards the Crew 3 maybe. That game will be developed for PC and for the new consoles. Just like Forza is doing. They're sort of messing about with Forza 4 and Motorsport 7 now, but what they're basically doing is waiting on the new consoles. Yeah, it might be, yeah, I don't know, but I don't expect it though. But you never know, because with Crew 1, with Wildrun, we also had like a graphical overhaul. So it is possible, if they come up with a DLC for this game, that they do a graphical overhaul and that the headlights and such might work. We never know, eh?
3, 2, 1.
Brakes, people. That's the general driving in PvP here. They can all drive fast, but then there is a corner showing up, and then they have a problem. I need to stiffen up this car. Too much oversteer. You can drive next to that ramp, but that's a bit of a risky shortcut, because there are all kind of things that you can hit there. Oh, I just jump to the right and lean forward to get the car down faster. That usually works as well. Yo, this one is really oversteering. Yeah, some part, especially if you're working out like panoramas, like in the distance, mountains and such, the rendering is pretty bad. It all has to do with the size of the map, obviously, and the game engine. But yeah, that's a decision that they made before the development of the game, I'm assuming. That's how it usually goes. They have a meeting and then they decide, are we gonna go with this or what? And from what I make of it, they sort of decided to go with, okay, we go with peer-to-peer one more time. and then which of course saves a lot of money. If they have to make a dedicated server, it's going to cost way much more. And then the result will be that okay, we got kicked. Friend requests, yeah, maybe on this driver. That's another thing if you play PvP. Keep your friend list under 50. If you have more than 50 people on your friends list, you're gonna get kicked more often from PvP. Okay, I'm gonna keep that one. Was a nitro chemist with muddy on it. But this is also something. Score breaker doesn't have skilled. No, don't need that. For the bike, I need to check that one. This one has skilled. This one has extra pump. I'm only keeping the yellow parts if they have a decent affix on it, which means less money spending on recalibration. But yeah, on this driver I don't have a immediate problem. Almost have 4.5 million of those scrap things. No, I don't need that. But yeah, you get some if you're a new player. But yeah, it's a bit double. Because you get some good parts if you're like in the top 3. You get a lot of yellows. But if you're a new player, you're not gonna get that much in the top 3, so it's a bit double. What else did we do? Hypercar, I'm assuming. Yeah, it definitely came from a long way. But yeah, you have like these diehards, like in the Crew 1 before the graphical overhaul. Some people still find it like better looking before the overhaul. And other people find that it doesn't look good enough because they have a 4K system or whatever. And yeah, this game is made for full HD, more or less. 1080p, 60 FPS, that's what it's made for. Okay, now mailbox probably also half full. Oh, only one part. It's kind of okay. Okay, that's that. Now, let's see. Timeline. No. Nothing there, some icon points. Put them on rich. Money, 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 that's what you need. Okay, that was that. I think I kept a part for the bike. But I already had one, so this one can go. Don't need this either. We also had a muddy, which I can use. That's sort of how I do it. I keep that nitro with muddy and I try to make a muddy set here in case you do an off-road skill test. It's not always off-road in the summit. You can always use a street, this Suzuki for instance, if you fill it up with muddy. But instead of recalibrating, you do some PvP. You sometimes, like now, I win a Nitro Chemist with Muddy. Then you can put it on there. And I was also working on some sort of score breaker set with Skilled and Muddy, I think. And also that we almost have. Okay, that's that. Now let's have a look what situation is in the summit. Now that we are on this driver here, we dropped to 43rd. I do have the world record here, with my other driver, that is. We eventually, after testing a couple of hypercars, Egoista had the world record with 19,837 or so. Eventually we switched to a touring car. Because with the Maserati, with that body kit, you can push aside the 2 or 3 of those gates that you have to do in the slalom. Of course, the problem here is that you need to have a score breaker set with skills on a touring car, which not all people have. But as you can see, it is the best because top 3 Maserati. The speed trap is, yeah, as expected, 719. And aerobatics, we have top score as well. Cannot score more than 22,650. I can definitely improve all the other stuff here. Oh, let's see. What do I have here on this air race, by the way? 121. My god. Even on my second driver. Way too many vehicles already. Where's my Nitro Chemist set? Oh, let's use the slick. But I don't know if my settings are any good here. There's always one way to find out. Yep. I need to quickly check. Air race, slick. 10, 10, 5, 10. Oh, 10, 10, 5. 10, 7, 9, 1 or something I think I have on it. Okay. Ten, 10, 5. 10, 7, 9, 1 or something. Okay. Let's try that. These settings are coming from my other driver, obviously. I took screenshots of all the things there. Slick. There it is.
3, 2, 1.
You'll make awesome time, I know.
yeah. Wind caught me. Don't have enough nitro here, I think. Let's try again. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
But yeah, that can be also solved if they give us like some sort of favorite filter where you can put like top 10 or top 15 vehicles. And you don't have to search too long in your garage, right? You just filter on the favorites. Why is it catching the arrows? But I don't have enough nitro here in this thing. Doesn't go fast enough. That's not gonna work. We need some more pure or frenetic on it, I think. This set is not recalibrated yet. Oh yeah. It is recalibrated, but with the wrong parts. The gateway imperfection is on it, and the imperfections needs to be replaced with the with pure. I don't have any on it. That is a problem. But we're not gonna spend our money on it because we need our money next week for certain vehicles which I do not have. Like the Ferrari 488 Pista. Let's check that. We need a Dodge drag car next week and a hypercar 488 Pista. And I don't have any of them, which is weird. A Dodge drag car. The Challenger is 117,000. What else do we have? The Viper, I guess. Viper is 127, but the Challenger is faster, I think. So 117, and then we need that Ferrari Pista. $999,000, my goodness. We probably get a discount in a bundle. But it's still gonna be about 800,000. So I need to do some more PvP. Need more money. Pretty much. Otherwise we have a problem next week. For the Summit series. I will do some more tonight as well. Then we have the A to B races in the street race. I find that a more fun lobby, but and then we still have Monday and Tuesday. So I guess we can get around 1 million. That's what we need. See you later. Coacher on controls. White Rocks Hill again. Yeah. Let's take LaFerrari. Icon 600 exclusive car. You cannot buy this other than get it from the timeline.
3, 2, 1.
Good, Mr. Good thing that they put an extra checkpoint here. This is one of the fixes that they did. But it doesn't really help much, does it? You still have 15 cuts in this track. That's definitely should be a priority in my opinion. They need to review all these tracks and put extra checkpoints. Make them a bit smaller maybe. Because if you hit some of these things you can fly all over the place. Yep, like you see. Let's try that rock jump again. Sort of made it. Works pretty good with a bike, but not so much with a car by the looks of it. Failed the 360. Yeah, you got that win, mister, because I missed the rock jump again. Yeah, we for a couple of weeks now talking to the devs, trying to get into their head of the importance of putting some extra checkpoints here and there. They got the idea now. So in future track I'm pretty sure they will test these tracks properly and put some checkpoints where they are needed, or maybe even give us a test build to test them and say if they are good or not. But the problem is that with these current tracks, do they want to go back to it or not? That's what we are trying to get done. That they go back and have a look on the, or that they give us some sort of build that we can say like, okay, this track there and that, and it definitely is a problem. Some tracks it's okay, but you have like some sort of typical tracks, which is really a problem. Like this Coral Gables, it's kind of okay. But White Rocks Hill, also the Bronx is a problem. But yeah, my opinion about it is that in Summits and in PvP they should disable the reset button. That would also solve a lot. Because not all of them, but many of the shortcuts are just reset crap. If they disable that, if they just keep the reset for if you're cruising around in free roam and you fly out of a corner or something, that's okay, but not in a competitive format, as in PvP or in the Summit. Just take away the disable, back on track, and problem solved. And over here we have a player hanging or something, I think. We voted. 4 votes we have, but there are 6 people in the lobby. There we go. Don't even have the BMW on this driver. Yo. Let's try the Suzuki. See how that works on this track.
Three, two, one.
Less steering than the Brutale, that's for sure. Oh, that's very nice. It's gonna take us a while to get over here. challenge. Not so much apparently. No, I don't want your slipstream in this corner, mister. This bike drove properly in the summit because we tuned it. But now you're in PvP, you're driving with green parts. Completely handled differently. Get back in, mister. Oh, he doesn't take shortcuts. Some messy run. Yeah, yeah, or sort of like they try to do in Forza. If you hit a wall or you have other players, you get like you slow down for like 3 seconds. They could block your nitro or so for 5 seconds, sort of as a penalty, something like that, in PvP. But for the summit, you can just disable it. In the summit, you can always retry if you do a time attack event or so. But for PvP, it might indeed be a bit drastic, but they can solve it in some other way. They don't give you nitro for 5 seconds or something like that. There are options available. The question is always, does it suit the game? Does it suit the developer? Does it suit the publisher? Because yeah, Ivory Tower makes the game, but Ubisoft also has something to say in all of it. The Evo 10, in my opinion, still the best of the three. Black Knight Edition is kinda okay. Red Fury, that's like messing up a bunch with settings. It never goes where it wants you to go. I don't know how it is on controller or on wheel, but for me as a keyboard player, the normal Evo 10 is still the best for me. Okay. That didn't work as planned. But yeah, on a Sunday afternoon it doesn't really seem to be that competitive. I think the PvP in general is not that competitive. Competitive players are not really playing it, I think. Because I'm driving like an idiot, I'm making a lot of mistakes and I'm still like seconds ahead of the rest. And I'm definitely not the fastest driver around. While we're in the lobby, let me check something. They will give their points meanwhile. Let's see. I want to test something. I find the stream still a bit laggy, so I'm gonna test something. If it's worse or better, we will see. Yeah, reset as loud is a possibility, but they had sort of had that in the beginning, I think. And people were complaining about that they were reset too far back and then they changed it again.
Three, two, one.
Can you guys check this race and tell me if it's better or worse? I put it on 9,000 kilobytes per second now. Is that smoother or is it more laggy? Flower beds. Better graphics? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but if I stream to Twitch, I normally have it on 10,000 kilobytes a second. But if we streamed in the past with Nvidia to YouTube, we put it on 6,000. So I put it on 6,000 to begin with now, but so I'm testing 9,000 now, but it seems to go a little bit smoother. So if the stream holds and doesn't crash, then we can do 9,000, maybe even 10,000, just like I do on Twitch. I'll have a look on the video later and see. Meanwhile, our bar filled up. Platinum 100 points. We're not getting any points anymore. Highest level available. We can only lose now. -11 if you lose a race. Unless you're on a winning streak, then it might be -6. Not 100% sure. It's the same for the winning ratio. Normally you get +2, Platinum 1, but if you're on a winning streak, certain amount of races after each other you keep winning or keep finishing in the top 3, you get +4. Mr. Zimmerberg, you're hanging, sir. We don't see your car. You're gonna fly out again. Oh no, he breaks the whole lobby. Yep. One guy coming in, cannot connect to the host, and the whole session breaks. Welcome to peer-to-peer. Oh yeah, well. $700,000 almost. That's not that bad. If we do another session tomorrow or so. Then I should have enough to get the vehicles required for the next summits. A helmet on 4, we need to check that. Helmet on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We already had a helmet, so this one can go. Did we do any hypercar in this session? Oh yes, I think we did. No. Not something we can use. I also have no idea what I have the intention with this set. We have a race set on this one. Okay. We have a score breaker here. We have a muddy set here. Not so sure what I'm intending with this one. I was working on something here. Have to look at that later. But I'm first gonna have some dinner. We figured it out, so we can stream to YouTube as well. Then I have options to stream. That was the idea. To stream directly to YouTube with the Nope series for the summit, or just stream on Twitch and then export it to YouTube is also a possibility. That's how I was doing it before, but we will see. But now it's time to grab a bite to eat. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.